Hey guys, Elizler here. So, for this one, I wanted to talk about my first backing accidents. Yeah, it's always bound to happen with something the size of you that this truck and trailer is. Um, it happened, I think it happened back in January, my first month out. It happened in January. What a fun time. So, I was still terrified of driving. It still made me extremely nervous. And I had this load, I don't remember where it was, but it was multiple stops. And multiple stops means the other two or the other one is going to be late. There's nothing you can do about it. It's always that way. Because for me, to get unloaded and loaded, it's like a minimum of 2 hours of like waiting to even get unloaded or loaded, and then the process. So it's just like it's a long time. And so what I was delivering, since it was late, the appointment number, it was one of those places that you had to have an appointment scheduled, like it was one of those other ones. And it was just like you have to get a new appointment number and all that stuff because it was late. And I told them that. So that was a trip because it was at the very last place. And I sat there, I think, for 2 hours waiting my turn to get into a dock. And then they called me telling me to get into this dock. I wait 2 more hours. Like, I gave her the paperwork when I got there. I waited 2 hours, and I got the phone call saying, hey, go into this dock. I get into this dock. I wait 2 more hours for this lady to come out and tell me that we can't take this load because you need a whole new appointment number because you're late. What the fuck were you doing for 4 hours? Like, normally you hand them the paperwork and they look at it to make sure you're at the right place, for one, and two, to see what it is that they're unloading so they know where it needs to go while they're unloading it, you know? And they didn't even look at it for 4 hours. So you wasted my time. You could have looked at it, and then I would have sat there, you know, you would have looked at it for 5 minutes and been like, hey, we can't take this. You're in the right place, but we can't take this because it's late. You need to call this, blah, blah, blah. 4 hours of that. So basically, I spent all that day waiting and calling my managers and all that stuff, trying to get a whole new number. And by this time, it was just like, it was 6. It was like 5 or 6, and my clock was about to be out. It was about to be out. And I was just like, I'm going to go ahead and go to this Petro. Because they were like, you can come back at like midnight or something. I'm like, I ain't going to have no time at midnight. What? So it'll have to be in the morning. And I'm just looking around, and then there is a Petro that was really close. I'm like, cool, it's like 5-10 miles away. I don't have to, you know, drive super far or anything to get there. So I was like, great. So I get there, and it's a bunch of parking spaces, and I had been there before, I believe. I had been there to that Petro before, but I had parked in the front where the reserve parking was, and it was hard at first because, you know, Petros and TAs, instead of their parking spaces are normal like this, they're like this or like this. They're at an angle. That sucks. It sucks for me. So but I was able to get there. It wasn't too hard the first time, but this time I had to park in the back, you know, and I still not very good at backing because this is January. So I tried aiming at the one I wanted. So there was a bunch of empty parking spaces. There was like 3 of them, and I was trying to aim for the middle, but it ended up, when I was turning, it was aimed at the one that was next to a truck, and I was like, that's fine, whatever. So I kept getting out to look as I was backing, because I was trying to do that weird modified 45 that they were trying to teach me that I had never learned, and expecting me to learn it the day that they showed it to me. So I'm doing that, and Why is this fool still sitting in front of me? So I'm gonna have to hunt him down when I'm done, because I can't get out. But I kept getting out to look and everything looked fine until, you know, as I was backing, because I kept pulling the brakes and running around looking at the angle, and everything was fine. So as I'm backing, next thing I know, I hear a thump and the truck stops. I was like, did I just hit him? I pulled forward, got out, I hit him. It's like, I was like, oh no, my very first accident ever. I've never been in even a car accident. I've never even hit anything. Nothing's hit me. Knock on wood. That's just how it was for my luck of driving. And I was like, oh my gosh. So it took me another like 10-15 minutes to like get into this parking space and straighten it out and everything. It took me forever. And I parked next to him, and I had like some time left. I was like, okay, I'm gonna like shower. I'm gonna go get some food from this restaurant, because they have like an iron skillet at Petros. I was like, I'm gonna get some real food. No. The rest of those hours that I had and after the clock was spent dealing with this accident. So the guy wasn't even in the truck. So I asked the people at the Petro where they are. Like, I had to contact safety, and then they told me what to do with that. Like, they were like, it's for the police called, all that other stuff. And they're like, okay, we need this information, like the truck company and everything like that, and the damage. The damage wasn't like horrible, because like I was going really slow for one, like creeping slow, like less than 5 miles an hour. And it was a scrape and then a dent and a scrape, for where, you know, it kind of bows out a little bit in the back. That's where it caught it. So I asked them to page this truck driver, the truck, put the company and everything like that. And they were like, why? And I was like, because I backed into his truck. They're like, oh, okay, well, we're gonna have to contact the police. I'm like, that's fine. So the contacted the police that normally roams around that truck stop is what it was. And we walked over there and talked about it and everything like that. Same thing. He's like, how fast were you going? He's like, most people would have just left and not said anything. I'm like, my conscience wouldn't let me, dude. I could never do that. Like, I would either sit there and wait for you, and if I can't wait, I'm going to like find some sheet of paper or something and put my information down, because I'm not just gonna sit there and just drive off after I just hit your stuff. Like, what? No, I'm broke as hell, but I will still confess and do what I can. No, I'm not gonna do that. So I was just like, man, I feel so bad. I felt so freaking bad for doing that. And again, it was an accident, but still, I felt so bad. And I was like, dang. But, you know, no charges were pressed or anything like that. He was like, really, there's nothing that he could do about it either, because it's public property, so he really wasn't going to do anything about it either. So after I like got them the information, and they were like, and then I had to tape a paper with the information for him to contact my company for. So I did that as well, and then all my time was gone. I took a shower, but I didn't get my food like I wanted, I don't think. Or I might have and got it to go, I don't know, but that's how it was. If I remember, I'll put the pictures at the end of this video of the damage that was done. I mean, it wasn't horrible, but it was just like, yo, I feel so bad. It was just like, I wasn't that good, and I thought I was good because I got out to look. I really did. And so when I got back to the terminal, you know, I wasn't good at, you know, because now, like, even if I'm backing and when I finally turn and look, I might not be aimed at the parking space I wanted. I can fix it now. Now I can fix it. And then I was just like, screw it, I'm going for that one, you know, because it was too much effort for me to fix things. Now I can fix it. I can fix it now. It's rough, but I can fix it. And so And I got back to the terminal, I had to see safety. Safety took up my 2 days that I had home. Like, from the time I got there, they were like, I gotta see safety, right? So I went in there, I was like, do I have to see safety? They're like, yeah, you do. And I got there sometime in the afternoon, they told me I couldn't leave. I'm like, I'm hungry. And they're like, well, go to the vending machines or something. I'm like, the fuck am I gonna do with a vending machine? I don't wanna do anything with the vending machine, I wanna go get food. So I sat there all day until they closed. No safety. There's something on my face. Couldn't see safety still. I was like, I have a doctor's appointment. And I make doctor's appointments at the VA. Y'all keep playing, I'm gonna be gone. And so I showed up the next morning because I was at the terminal still, first thing, and I was like, I'm here to see safety. They're like, okay, we'll just wait here and stuff. I'm like, okay. I got an appointment at like, I don't remember what time it was. I think it was like 11 or 12 or something. I was like, I have an appointment at 11 or 12. If I don't see safety by then, I'm gonna go and I'll be back. But you know, I wasn't gonna be back, to be honest. I was not gonna try to come back that day. I'm trying to go home. I gotta go back to work, and that just pissed me off because I still have all this laundry to do, and I don't want to do them at the terminal. Granted, it's cheaper at the terminal than it is at truck stops, but I don't want to pay money to do laundry. You know, I want to go home. My parents are nice enough to let me wash my clothes there, so the less money I can spend, the better. And I still had to go to the grocery store to get everything I needed, and it was just like, yo, I gotta go. So basically when I go home, I don't have much home time anyway. I'm not having fun or anything, but that really was no time to do anything. And I was actually able to see safety, and they basically just asked me what happened again for the umpteenth time, because that's what they do when you call safety when you initially have the accident. It's the same questions they've already asked you. How fast were you going? Did you get out and look? They want you to know. They want to know the whole story. Tell them the story. And I was like, I got out to look and all the stuff, and I still was wrong. They're like, how fast were you going? I was like less than 5 miles an hour. I was creeping. They're like, oh, okay. I'm like, who backs up fast? What? And so they're like, okay. So what they're gonna do is, after they had to write up this paperwork and I had to sign it, because they write down everything that you say, and they ended up giving me 90 days probation and some online training to do, and I had to do a backing class. That was fun. And they're like, just come to the backing class tomorrow morning. I'm like, okay. Because I had a doctor's appointment. I'm like, yeah, I can't do it right now. I have a doctor's appointment. I can come back and do it, but I gotta go. Nope, I gotta go. They're like, okay, well, we'll do it like in the morning then. Because I think the backing class normally starts at like 12. And I had to go to work. So they're like, we'll do it like first thing in the morning at like 8. My ass was at home. That's what I was doing. I was at home. Still trying to get ready for work because my days were taken. So fuck you. Like, I'm still trying to get ready for fucking work. What do you want me to do? Like, I can't go back to work because I am not ready for work. Like, you had me sit there for these 2 days and I couldn't do nothing. So I got there when I got there. It was like 9 or 10 when I got there. And put everything in the truck. I threw everything in there. I didn't put anything away. It was just in the truck. Parked my car and walked over there. They're like, hey, you're supposed to be here at whatever time. I'm like, yeah, I was trying to get ready for work still. Up through this morning. I'm running off of 3-4 hours. What you want? Like, and then I gotta go right back to work like after this class. So bite me. Just bite me at this point. So we did the backing class. I had to do the online trainings too, so that's what I was doing as well. So I had to do the online trainings before I had to go back to work. So I had to do those stupid shits. And yeah, it was not a fun time. And I was like, dang, 90 days probation after my first accident? Like, dang, you act like I hit a car. Like I was driving, I hit something. Like, it was just... I was like, dang, what if something else happens and I get fired? Because that's what they were saying. They said something about, 90 days. If you have another infraction, it could result in your termination and all that stuff. I'm like, yeah, stress me out more. Yes, that helps. That helps with the driving skills, don't it? No, it does not. So that changed me how I drive, because after that, after a certain point of time, if I was still driving by a certain time, I wouldn't go to a truck stop. Like, I would specifically look for rest areas, because that's when I was trying to, in the beginning, I was trying to take a shower every night. So I was stopping at these truck stops, and then I just kind of gave up, and I was like, look, I'm not driving the full mileage I need to some days when I do that. And so, I need to start give that up and start, going to rest areas. And it just got to the point I really was afraid to hit anything. I avoided Petros and TAs if it was past a certain time, and then just went straight to the rest area, because I was like, no. And that's kind of what I was doing for all the other ones as well, because my backing wasn't very good. So if it wasn't early enough, I didn't attempt to go to a truck stop, because I was looking for a spot that had 2 empty spaces, so I didn't have to worry about hitting anybody on my blind side. Excuse me. So yeah, that had me scared, because I was like, I don't want to get fired. I just started, and it was rough, but nothing else happened after that. Nothing else happened. So my 90 days of probation is up, and it's all good to go. It's all good to go now. It's like, oh man, but that really sucked. I was so scared, and I felt so bad, because that was my first accident, and it's all good now. I'm better. I'm so much better. I still struggle a little bit, because I still have to make a lot of adjustments just to get into a spot, but I still get into the spot and not hit anything, and that's fine with me. Everyone else kind of does one turn and they're kind of already in there. I don't know how they do that. My way works. So that's my first accident, my first backing accident, or accident in general, backing accident and regular accident, because they're both considered an accident, and you still get in trouble for either one. So and you just got to be careful. Now I'm good. I'll park at a Petro and everything. It's iffy when it comes to those parking spaces, though. I still look for 2 of them that are empty next to each other, or if I can pull through, then I'll pull through, or if I can straight back in, because I can do awkward straight backs, if the parking space is here, and I'm over here up front, I can angle that to get me to line up with this spot, and I'm just good to go. That's my awkward straight back. That's what I call an awkward straight back, but I can do those. So that's what I still do now, because those are weird. I can never angle it the way you're supposed to. You kind of drive forward and you kind of angle your trailer. I can never get that right, so I don't worry about it. But unless there's 2 empty spaces, 2 or more next to each other, then yeah, I'll do it. But I try to look for straight backs, awkward straight backs, and pull throughs. So that's how that went for me. Oh yeah, good times. But anyway, that's it for my backing story. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.